What's going on, guys? It's Sean here again with some more Final Fantasy VII news. This time we have info on both old and new characters, along with a bunch of screenshots all coming from SquareEnixGames.com. Of course, if you want to see the article for yourself, I'll have a link to it in the description. So without further ado, let's start the video. First up is Tseng, the leader of the Turks. The Turks are a small elite organization with Shinra that does everything the company needs it to, be it scouting out candidates for soldier, protecting VIPs, or even assassination. Their cool-headed leader has a knack for managing his eccentric subordinates. He's an old acquaintance of Aerith's and has been keeping watch over her since she moved to the slums. Tseng has always been a favorite of mine. I've always liked his cool and calm demeanor, and after playing Crisis Core and getting a little bit more of his character, that solidified why I liked him so much. Next is Don Corneo. This lecherous scumbag is the true ruler of Wall Market. He hosts nightly auditions for the next Mrs. Corneo, and although his mouth is as foul as his face, he has an uncanny way with people. Even the dregs of society are securely under his thumb. Maybe this time around we'll get to see just how in charge this guy is in Wall Market. I mean, you kinda get that in the original, but to me it seemed like he only had rule in his mansion. Of course, like I usually say, we should be getting more in the remake, so we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. And here's a new character, Andrea Rodea. We saw him in the theme song trailer. The owner of and dancer at the Honeybee Inn is a man of influence within the quarter, with the authority to approve women for Corneo's auditions. Each night he dazzles his crowd with performances that defy description, always seeking perfection. He rigorously trains both his mind and body. Honeybee Inn was such a small part in the original, and I like how much it's getting enhanced in the remake. Before, you went there to just get makeup and lingerie for Cloud's cross-dressing, and that was it. Besides a few not so important moments, it wasn't really much, but now we have a new character leading the place. I wonder if these performances will be watchable. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Then here's a few more characters, such as Leslie Kyle. Don Corneo's lackey may look young, but he has the heart of an old curmudgeon. His dead-eyed stare and general apathy have earned him pride of place among the Don's men. Madame M, the proprietress of a hand massage parlor in Wall Market. Like Andrea, she has a great deal of influence within the quarter. That includes the authority to approve women for Corneo's auditions. Be warned that she's a prideful sort, and only as courteous as her customers are deep-pocketed. And Chocobo Sam, a chocobo handler in Wall Market. Chocobo Sam is another prominent figure with the authority to approve women for Corneo's auditions. He runs a delivery service called Sam's Delivery. He also happens to be an avid gambler, although he's hooked more on the rush than any money he may win. So I'm seeing a thing here. Between Andrea Rodea, Madame M, and Chocobo Sam, they all have the influence under Corneo. I wouldn't be surprised if you have to impress them or do things to gain favor in order to make it to Don Corneo's mansion, which could be pretty interesting. Wall Market was one of my favorite parts, and I can't wait to see how much things are changed for the better. Next, we get a look at Barret and how he works in battle. If you've played the demo, you'll have experienced how Barret fights. His gun arm makes him an ideal long-ranged fighter. Push the square button and Barret will fire a volley from his machine gun. You can also hold down the button for an extended salvo. If you press the triangle button, you can use Barret's overcharge attack. Not only is it more powerful than standard shots, it fills a large portion of his ATB gauge. Bear in mind that once used, it takes a long time to recharge this attack, but you can speed up the reload process by pressing triangle again. When Barret fills his ATB gauge, he can use one of his special abilities. Here are just a couple of things he can do. First is Focus Shot. This ability uses up all available ATB charges to deliver a powerful attack. Not only does it do good damage, it also fills up an enemy's stagger gauge. Get that to the max and they'll be susceptible to even more damage. And Lifesaver. This ability definitely lives up to its name. After activating it, Barret will share some of his HP with allies when they take damage. Now, I've played through the demo a handful of times and I really like how different playing as both Cloud and Barret felt. It definitely makes it so that you have to use different strategy based on which character you are using. I can only imagine how things will be when we have all the party members, abilities, and materia at our disposal. Speaking of materia, we get a look at the Command Materia enemy skill. When a party member has this equipped, they have a chance to learn certain enemy attacks that are used on them. Note that the character can only use these skills while the materia is equipped. Dude, enemy skill is one of my favorite materia in the original Final Fantasy VII. I didn't even think about it being in this game because of how late you would get it, so I wonder if we'll get it earlier. I mean, it makes sense that we should, because before we'd get it in the Shinra headquarters, which would be at the end of this game, and that wouldn't allow us very long to use it, so it has to be earlier. Oh, I can't wait. I know, I know I say that a lot, but this info is only making me more hype. Anyway, let's continue the video. Next up is more screenshots of locations. We have Wall Market, built on the ruins of the collapsed Sector 6 plate. Wall Market is Midgar's biggest and most infamous entertainment quarter. It's run by Don Corneo and is almost entirely free of Shinra's influence. It's an incredibly lively area that offers plenty of, let's say, intriguing ways to pass the lonely nights. What I like most about these screenshots of Wall Market is that you really get a sense of the more lively vibe that Square is going for. It already looked more lively in the original with its use of brighter and more variety of colors than other places in the slums, but here with all the lights it's a lot more set apart from the other locations. We have a new location, the Corneo Coliseum, located beneath the bustling streets of Wall Market. The Corneo Coliseum gives brave fighters the chance to engage in brutal battles against both man and monster. Winners of a Coliseum bout receive glory, fame, and substantial reward. So in part 1 of Final Fantasy VII Remake, we get a little taste of the battle square from Gold Saucer in the original Final Fantasy VII. I'm all for it. Getting to hone and test my skills against tough opponents is right up my alley. Hopefully there's some real challenge here. Then we get a better look at the Honeybee Inn. Situated in Wall Market, the Honeybee Inn is the area's premier nightclub and offers nights few will ever forget, as its staff frequently remind its patrons. Every night, audience are dazzled by the Honeybee Inn's gorgeous cast of honey girls and boys. This unique venue also provides private rooms for its more discerning customers, allowing them to enjoy time in private with the performers of their choice. At one point in the story, Tifa and Aerith glam themselves up to infiltrate Don Corneo's mansion. Cloud is left with no choice but to dress to impress as well. Each character has multiple costumes too. Like I said before, I'm really liking the expansion of Honeybee Inn. Oh, and the part about multiple costumes? I knew that was going to be the case. You really think that with everything that they're doing with this game, they were going to not give us the options of dresses that we had in the original? I never doubted it, but it's nice to have confirmation. Last location screenshot we have is the Beginner's Hall. This is the Beginner's Hall, a location where you can learn the basics of weapon enhancement. There's a weapon shop on the ground floor, and the second floor is used as a base of operations for the neighborhood watch. This was a location I didn't really think about being in the remake, but it's obvious that it was going to be there. So it's nice to see that it's in. I'll be looking forward to learning the ins and outs of this game's mechanics. Next up is a new feature, the jukebox. While you wander around town, you may come across areas playing special music. You can get these songs as music discs from shops or citizens. When you acquire a disc, an icon will appear in the top left of the screen. Once collected, you can play a disc on any jukebox. This one can be found in Tifa's bar, 7th Heaven. Honestly, I'm not surprised at all by this addition. I kind of expected it, in fact. I mean, we had something similar in Final Fantasy XV where you could collect and listen to music as you drove around in the regalia. And what I am wondering is if other Final Fantasy games' music will be included, or maybe even original Final Fantasy VII's music. I'll definitely keep my eyes peeled for these. Finally, the last bit of info is the summon Leviathan. Worshipped as a deity in the Wutai region, this non-elemental summon takes the form of a water serpent. Leviathan evokes a savage beauty as it rises from the briny depths, generating tidal waves that wash foes away. Leviathan is, of course, pretty dang awesome, and it's nice to get a good look at him. I am a little bit surprised that he's classified as non-elemental though, but I guess there is no water magic in Final Fantasy VII, so I guess it's not all that surprising. But he looks pretty cool though. Can't wait to use him, or any of the summons really. And that's all for the article. It goes without saying that each and everything that we've seen so far has an ungodly amount of work and detail put into it. I know I'm sounding like a broken record by now, but the passion behind this project is on full display at all times. Again, so far, there hasn't been a thing that I can say it looks like this is where Square hasn't put as much focus. They've got everything. And we haven't even seen it all yet. The days are getting closer and I'm getting all the more excited. Are you guys excited? Let me know down in the comments. And let me know what was your favorite thing out of all the info we just got. Mine has to be either the enemy skill materia or the battle coliseum. If you liked the video, then please leave a like, and if you want more Final Fantasy related content, then please be sure to subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video, so until then, be sure to enjoy the rest of your day. Bye guys.